Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night to World Team League 2023 Summer Code S Round 5, day number 3, the final day of Round 5 here. And I'm, of course, your host, Live VIP. I am not alone this time. I'm joined by the one, the only, the beautiful, the AsherBro.
We got Serral first up, which I felt like... Isn't he playing in a tournament tonight? What is he up to?
Is he?
Is he able to be in two places at once? Oh no, wait, that's not for ages. That's not for like 4 hours. All right, he's good.
Yeah, it's fine, Papi. It's fine. We've got plenty of time here as our first matchup is going to be Berserker eSports versus Team BASILISK. Serral, he is up bright and early. He may have to play later on in the evening, but he's got some spare time here to play in some WTL.
Yeah, just for funsies.
Just for fun, Papi. Just for fun. As of course, this is going to be a pretty heavily, Team BASILISK coming in as one of the favorites. Berserker eSports, they are here to prove themselves, and I am excited. I haven't casted BattleB in a while, but he has been a rising star in the European region for quite some time. But he's got one of the few S tier players that he's going to be facing.
Yeah, one of two. And I remembered Mario has 92 and Serral has 94. It seems illegal. But spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner, it is for Berserker, Mr. BattleB.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner for Team BASILISK, it is Serral. Oh, and this doesn't happen too often, but it looks like we have no cams for either player today.
Yeah, cams have just disappeared forever. I noticed there was some no-cam games yesterday as well.
Yeah,
and I didn't know why. And also, DreamHack has been no-cam, which has been really sad because I wanted to see... Alright, let's not spoil. I wanted to see a certain Zerg player molding out of his mind.
You're an animal, Papi. You're an animal. Like, you're so cruel.
Hey, he's being BM.
True.
Actually being BM.
I didn't watch the game. I need a link to the game after.
It's worth watching. Yeah.
I only saw the clip, but the clip was missing context.
The clip's not the full story. There's like 3 occurrences.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so good. 3 occurrences in the same game.
Oh my god!
Actually, such a clown. It was so good.
I was gonna say this. He's a clown, mate. Oh my god!
Actually, it's such a clown. He's a Polacci. I'm trying to remember the Italian word.
he's a payaso, Papi. He's a payaso.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god! But I'm willing to reserve a little bit of judgment until I watch the game myself. But I'm probably gonna agree with you. Thank you. As we are getting into our own ZVT here, and I'm quite excited. As you were saying, a little bit sad that we don't have cams going on. Cams are usually shown, and fun fact, I believe if you don't use a cam, you are fined. By the way, I'm pretty sure the teams are fined if they don't, if they have cams available but they choose not to use them or something like that. I think max packs may be an exception, or maybe not. I don't know. But here we go for the time being. Some pretty standard openers all around. Nothing too crazy in the early game, thankfully.
You actually, if you don't show your camera 3 games in a row, you go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just any jail. It's a jail where Dark just happens to be the warden. And he heard you being a bad boy.
Oh my god. It's Dark, he's the warden, and then you've got like Ryung and Geralt as the officers that stand beside him. Oh.
It's true. It's all true.
Yeah.
I went there voluntarily to investigate.
Oh god, you pulled one of those like Mission Impossibles. You got yourself.
Frost said I would turn my camera off on purpose. Let's go.
Oh no. I mean, it's understandable, right? Like, I mean, I don't judge you, Asher, for going to jail. Oh.
I've done crimes, terrible crimes. Throw away
have,
the key.
have you repented? Like, were you punished?
Absolutely not. Not
Oh,
enough.
not enough.
So-
You you want more, Papi? You want more?
let's move on. Quickly. As BattleB got a tumor. He got a Serral tumor. That's a little badge of honor there. As he is going through ECC Banshee, so he's backing himself against the best Zerg in the world, which is wild to me, but very impressive. And Serral is going for a very, very early Roach Warren, which normally I would say that he's doing this to go for some kind of rush, and it looks like he is going for some early Roaches indeed. But Serral has been playing some macro Roach openers, like dark style Roach openers, which is just so weird to see from him, but very cool as well. And yeah, he's actually only making 5 Roaches, so this is probably not going to be going across the map unless it's looking to sneak around and catch the Hellions out of position and do a little run by. I think he's actually just doing this as a macro opener, which is, yeah, it's something he's been doing a little bit just to get himself a nice pass into the late game, and it's super interesting.
Oh yeah, he really has been. And Asher, if you want me to grow like a goatee, and if you
No, I want the real deal. I don't want Doc from Wish.
Okay. I mean, that's what you're gonna get. That's as we are getting into this game, of course, and as you were saying, we only have a couple of Roaches here just to assert dominance on the map. As you were saying, we've been casting quite a bit of Serral recently ourselves, and we have been seeing him just use these Roaches as a bit of a stepping stone here. I know you have some thoughts about that and about the kind of efficiency of that as well. Like, is it really worth it? I mean, I'm still of the mind that it can be just keeping you safe. Maybe it's like a mental safety sort of thing here, even as I just realized Serral had delayed link speed by quite a bit, only just now starting it. My god.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Serral's basically, he's kind of come up with, I don't want to say new, because I don't feel like it is new. People have known that you can mine your opponent's bases for a while now, but I feel like he has been excelling in late game, and we saw it against Oliveira, particularly on Dragon Scales, where he used this Roach opener just to give himself a bit of a free pass and keep that map safe, stop himself from dying early, just kind of prevent any early all-ins or anything like that. And using that to get into a late game where he uses Nidus to mine out the bases on the edge of the map and just keep his opponent pinned back on only 4 or 5 bases. Yeah, I think that's what he's going for here as well. And I mean, he's done a really good job of it. These Roaches are just fending off everything beautifully, and we are coming up to the first push timing, and he's going to have plenty of Roaches to deal with it, including Roaches.
It's really interesting. It's kind of like a larva kind of efficient army here because he's been droning so heavily behind this. Like, he's getting already towards the 80 worker count at this point. We're going into infestors just to be safe, and we're only going to be making 2, again, just kind of a safety net to get into Hive Tech, to get into Hydras as well, and that's what we do see on the horizon.
Yeah, it's funny. The 2 infestors is something he's been doing every time. Like, this is the same every time, and it's quite formulaic, so he's clearly just doing it on purpose as like a new style that is developing, which is fascinating. I find it really interesting as well that he always goes for +1 range, even though I think later on he will be going into Lingbane Ultra with Roaches.
Yeah, it's quite interesting as well. I mean, I guess it gives him the opportunity to get into Lurker Tech, which I think he can, or he has done in the past as well. It isn't necessary, but it does kind of give that a little bit of an opening. And as I say that, there we go. The Lurker Den is thrown down for Serral.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we're at 8 minutes almost, and he's almost at 90 drones. He has a Hive. He has a Lurker Den going down. His creep spread has gone very well. He's got fairly good control over his quadrant of the map. It's just, nothing's really happened to him, which is just crazy to me.
Yeah, and again, kind of, we've been over this before, but like, he isn't really too concerned with harassing the Terran player at this stage. Like, he's content with the Terran taking their 3rd base, taking their 4th base. Serral is more concerned with maxing out initially and then starving out his opponent, taking control of the map and just whittling away at the Terran's army and at the Terran's spirit in a way.
Speaking of as well, I did notice BattleB had 2 DCs in production there. So I'm wondering if he actually, instead of just throwing down a 4th, threw down a 4th and a 5th, realizing that he wasn't going to be able to get much done out on the map, and he just wanted to skip further down into late game, cut corners, as he recognizes what Serral is doing.
Yeah, and I think he does have a CC in the main base that could be ready to fly on over. But before that happens, we do see a bit of engagement here in the middle of the map. Those infestors are coming into play, and BattleB is losing quite a number of Marines here in the middle of the map as Serral is transitioning. We have our first wave of lurkers on the way. Hive upgrades are on the horizon as well, and Serral is max.
Yeah, it was a great fungal, and as much as Serral was using these roaches for safety, I mean, there comes a time when you need to trade them out, and he still does have a really scary army. I mean, hopefully BattleB has been macroing smoothly, but he's going to have to get in position, and he is caught pretty far out of position. I mean, these lead tech lurkers are actually really scary in this situation.
And the land tech lurkers are about to turn into hive tech lurkers as range does finish up in time. A massive spines do connect with those Marines. And as you were saying, BattleB, his bio army was not in position. He was at his 4th base location, not at his 3rd. And this is quite a bit of damage already.
Yeah, this 3rd is pretty much forfeit. I mean, I would really like to see BattleB taking that base right up to the north, and it looks like he does have a CC finishing up in that direction that he can do that with, but he's going to have to give up this 3rd, and this is really early to be giving this up. I think on this map you can eventually give it up, but you want it to be a bit more of a fight than this.
Yeah, exactly. You want to at least mine out a little bit more from it as well. At the same time, BattleB tries to go for a double jump across the map, but no, the Ling Hydra reinforcements are back at home to defend. The 3rd base is on fire, and it could go down.
It's going to go down. He's going to bile it. Oh, the biles are going to get it. Oh, it's so close. Oh my goodness, that was a clutch repair, but that was definitely closer than it necessarily needed to be. But this is wild. This kind of makes me think of, you know, that Serral stream clip where he's like, I wanted to play macro, but he died.
And that may be what we're seeing here as BattleB is really struggling to maintain his 4-base economy. The CC does re-land, but it's taking a lot of hits. Thankfully, the Liberators have arrived, and they will be shooting away these lurkers at least a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, we have Ravagers here, and that can take them out. So yeah, one of those Liberators is going to be going down. We did see a few lurkers going down. BattleB just desperately trying to get some map presence going on here, but Serral is just suffocating him. He has another fantastic army up here to the north, and this is just a wild game. I mean, this is not the kind of game that you're expecting to go into when you go up against Serral. This is the kind of game you're expecting when you go up against Dark, and it's going to be a bit jarring for BattleB.
I wonder if maybe Serral was listening into the stream and he heard us talk about, you know, the Warden that is that is Dark, and maybe Serral wants the job himself. Maybe he wants to be a part of our lovely fan fiction here. As he is asserting himself, he's been so on point at piling down these Liberators, but a 3rd one will rock up. Barely BattleB does hold on to this 3rd base. At the same time, he is slowly expanding towards the north as well.
Man, he even got the borrowed Ling under the 4th there. And oh, he is going to be pulling the trigger with the Lings here, diving on this army. BattleB has a little bit more in store, but we're going to have to give up this base once again. And BattleB being starved out at such an early time when Serral, it really feels like he doesn't need to do damage with this at all.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like he's maybe overextending, but he's not, because he's dealing damage. Like, like it's like, oh wait, is this necessary? So I was like, no, but you know, why not? You know, why not just try to get away with this anyway?
Fired infested too.
Oh god, exactly. He's looking, he's waiting for that fungal at any moment. BattleB has to be very careful.
Do you think the lurkers are on hold position?
Oh, that would be actually amazing. Maybe, yeah.
And Serral's been having a lot more fun than usual lately. It's really cool to watch.
Yeah, maybe it's his streams, you know, maybe he's been able to socialize a little bit more than he usually does, and he's breaking out of his shell with those Twitch streams. We'll see as BattleB is denied that northern base. Lurkers are pushing forward. They have been revealed. Now BattleB is fully aware, but that lurker is still waiting for the fungal.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the scan coming down, but at the same time, Serral going to be hitting the left with the Lings and the Banes, so he is creating a big kind of caving motion on this army here, and wow, that was a huge fungal on all of the ghosts. Quite a lot of those going down. This 3rd base just not being allowed to mine. At the same time, we have at the top right-hand corner, wow, Lurker's going to be sieging up on that base, so that base is going to be in trouble too, and BattleB, he's only mining off 1 base now, basically.
Exactly. Only 3 CCs are up and running. He's running out of minerals in his main and his natural. He barely has any economy whatsoever. He can barely, well, he can't max out.
This game is stressing me the hell out. I'm having like secondhand, I don't know, pain. What would you even call it? I'm suffering because I feel the pain of BattleB right now. This is the most suffocating ZBT I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, and I mean, BattleB, he just can't really break free here. We do see the Ling Bane rolling on forward, getting on top of the army, getting on top of the tanks. The Ghosts do fall back, but the Banelings are chasing them down.
Yeah, the Bane's just going to be charging straight into the natural. There's just way too many. GG is called him. That was a monstrous game from Serral.
GG, well played. Serral, stone cold as ever, does take the first game, but in a very aggressive fashion. A fashion that I don't think we've seen before. Like, we've been casting him a lot against Oliveira, against some of these other Terran players, but I think this is the first time where Serral has been really assertive really early on.
Yeah, that was just wild. That was some of the scariest CBT I've ever seen. I have a meme. I have a meme light. I have to post it in live feed.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a way for you to show this to stream.
Oh no. What is this? Is this in any way related?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, okay.
This is how the game made me feel.
Why do you have this on hand?
Well, it's from Workaholics. It's a good show.
Fair enough, fair enough. Oh my god. Yeah, I can completely understand here, and hopefully you can sit through another one. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales. For Berserker eSports, it is BattleB.
And in the top left hand corner of the map for Basilisk, this is Serral. Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm watching... Have you ever seen a fly in a Venus flytrap?
I have not. I have not.
It's really interesting. You should watch a video of it. But basically what happens, pretty nasty. The plant just like shuts so that the fly can't get out.
Yeah.
And then it produces
like,
acid that like melts the fly.
Oh, okay.
I kind of felt like I was watching that just then.
I was trying to find the term. It's sympathy pains. That's it. Sympathy pains. It happens a lot. Yeah. It happens like when like your spouse is pregnant and like they have, like contractions and stuff, but suddenly you also have that or something. Like it's like
it's so hard for men.
I mean,
horrible
it's so
position to be in.
It's so hard for you. Apparently, you're like, oh, but stop! You're hurting me.
Yeah, you're hurting us. Serral, be gentle. I don't think you're ready to be the warden yet. You gotta be a bit more. What's the word? You gotta feel safe,
Yeah. You need to lock him down first. You need to make him not want to leave, and then.
Not exactly where I was going with that. Anyway,
where are you going with that?
Don't worry about it.
I understand what you're saying though. What you're saying is that in a jail that is, run by dark, people want to go to jail. People they want to get locked up.
Yeah.
With Serral there, no.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Yeah. They don't want to get involved.
No. Yeah. No, he's not quite adjusted to his new role yet.
Yeah. There's only pain. There's no pleasure.
Exactly, yeah. As here we go. First Reaper going to be coming on in, so BattleB. Still feeling very confident with his units. Actually almost gets a drone there. That'd be a nice little feather in his cap to get a Serral drone, but Serral a little bit too sharp here. He's been dealing with Clem Reapers all of these years, so he's very used to annoying Reapers.
Yeah, exactly, and he doesn't quite get that drone in the end. Meanwhile, Serral this time is actually getting link speed, important to take note of, as he did delay it by quite a bit last game, going for, or just cutting corners in general. But now that we're on Dragon Scales, I imagine that hyper-aggressive rush into Lurker tech, Serral is past us at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if it's very specific to Babylon, and maybe here BattleB will be able to get further into his own game.
Yeah, I do feel like Babylon especially is of a very momentum-based map on both sides, where A lot of the time in TVZ, if we see the Terran do very well with their first Hellions and Banshees, they can just run away with the game, and vice versa. As soon as the Zerg starts getting attacks going on that third and on the fourth, it's very hard to recover, both in TVZ and PVZ. I think we did see it as well when Serral was playing some PVZ, where he was just crashing in with Hydraling Bane again and again, and the Protoss, despite taking good trades, never really got into a position where they could even think about taking a fifth.
Exactly, they were just suffocated, as you were saying, and I worry that we may see something similar, because this Roach Warren from Serral is far faster than the Roach Warren we saw last game. This was, I want to say, a 3-minute 30 Roach Warren, and the Roaches are already on the way. So once again, Serral, he's got places to be. Like he doesn't want to mess around here.
Now this time, this looks like an all-in, or at least a little bit more aggressive than the last time. It kind of reminds me, I know there's a Dark all-in that's a little bit like that. There's the kind of typical 9 Roach, but the 9 Roach build is quite telegraphed by a late third. Whereas Dark kind of came up with a version of it where I believe you still get your first tumor and you still get your third at the normal time, but you end up attacking with these Roaches at a really awkward time where maybe one of the Banshees is across the map or the Hellions are across the map. I don't see this doing too much in this case.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like maybe there are enough Hellions. The problem is that we only have Hellions to defend. I don't know if you saw, but we're kind of getting into mech. We have Blue Flame on the way, but we also have Stims. I'm getting some mixed signals here. Like, we're getting a little bit of everything.
Yeah, actually, I completely missed that. This is, oh my, what? Oh, this is so cool. This is like a Ryung build.
Yeah,
I remember Ryung playing around with stuff like this in GSL, where he would show Blue Flame and maybe go for 3 or 4 factories of mech and then hard switch into bio.
You're giving me, what was the guy's name? There's an Australian Terran that does this on the ladder. It's not Rowdy.
I mean, Blue Flame into bio is not unheard of, but this is just a like accelerated way to do it.
Yeah. Am I thinking of Flamey Blade? Is it Flamey Blade? Is it him or Mini Rods? It's one of those two. Yeah. One of those. Yeah,
just one of the clowns.
It's true. It's very true. It's very true. So yeah, as you were saying, pretty interesting. It was a 3cc opener overall into those 2 additional Raxes, as we're seeing, quite a delayed starport. But Blue Flame is now done, and it is about to be revealed.
I love what he's doing here, splitting up his Hellions. Blue Flame into Roach is not ideal, but you do still have to try to get something done with them, and I don't mind the idea of just trying to throw away the Hellions for damage at all.
And here we go, the Hellions, they tap on it. Oh god, the drones, they line up as well.
Yeah, nice. 11 drones going to be going down. There's a few more drones here as well. If BattleB has the time to target, he would get a few more, but 11 drones still really nice damage for Hellions that are not too useful anymore.
Exactly, especially because we are transitioning into bio instead, and I believe Serral is unaware about this for the time being. He's committed to Roach play. He's trying to re-drone, trying to resaturate his bases, and so far, not too bad of a start here for BattleB.
This was such an odd build by Serral. I don't really know what it was meant to catch out. I guess if the Roaches arrive when the Hellions are completely across the map, you could get some damage, but I feel like the Hellions could still get counter damage in that case. It's a little bit odd.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, especially because I think it was only like 6 Roaches as well from Serral, so he didn't have enough to actually overpower those Hellions anyway. So an interesting build nonetheless, and Serral is doubling down on the Roaches as he is working on Burrow and Tunneling Claws alongside that Infestation Pit.
That's so cool. Okay, I've been talking about this for a while, Burrow and Tunneling Claws, because I've had a few Zergs do this to me on ladder, and they didn't win because they were kind of bad, but you know those games where you win, but you're like, if this person was better, I 100% would have died here. Yeah, that. Well, if you don't see this Tunneling Claws, and basically what the Zerg can do, especially if you're not looking because you just moved out, they can just send Roaches into every base, and once those pop out, your SCVs just melt, and that's especially on 3 bases as a Terran. That's a position that you kind of can't recover from because there's a 1-1 Roach or a 2-2 Roach push coming in behind that.
Yeah, I feel like Dark used to play around a little bit more with borrowed roaches back in the day, a couple of years ago, but for whatever reason that did kind of fall out of fashion and it kind of fell by the wayside, especially in favor of rushing into things like lurkers instead. So an interesting move here by Serral. We'll see if he does make use of it, especially now that he does confirm that it's going to be a bio follow-up. There are plenty of Marines, but the roaches are getting ready for that counterattack.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was Slammer. I think Slammer did this to me. He had roaches burrowed, or whoever it was had roaches burrowed outside of my natural way before tunneling finished. And then he saw my army moved out, and then he sent the tunneling claw roaches in. It was very cool. And I was like, man, this is actually really good. This should work well. And here we go. There is going to be a big surprise ambush coming out from Serral here. It drops into the main. It does the main first, so they'll be transferring down to the natural, and then he pops the natural. This is so cool.
Oh my god, SCVs are falling left and right now. BattleB, he's trying to focus his attention across the map, but no, the drops are left idle. They get fungled as well, and Serral is going to be able to pounce on all of this.
Goodness, this is insane from Serral. The level of damage that he is getting right now is out of this world, and I mean, BattleB is actually doing a fantastic job defending this, but you can see why it's so strong. Despite BattleB responding very quickly, still 19 SCVs have gone down.
Yeah, and the tanks are out of position. What are that? 3 tanks in the main base, only 2 at the natural. There's nothing to protect them either. They're going to be going down.
Holy, this was such a cool game plan coming out from Serral, and the amount of damage that he's done, he doesn't even mind trading out some of these roaches. He can just keep the pressure on, make it impossible for BattleB to mine off his third and get up a healthy SCV count, and just keep on crashing into him again and again.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, BattleB, he's fighting to try to hold on to his third base, and eventually he will force back the army of Serral, but the damage has been done. He is down to 32 workers, and there are still roaches alive dealing more damage.
Yeah, absolutely insane. There is just so much damage going down. This takes so long to clear up. Even more roaches in the main, despite the turrets. He is continuing to get damage. It still hasn't been cleared up, and I don't know if BattleB even has enough scans for this. It looks like he does have a bit of energy on his main orbital, but this is Serral just abusing his speed and pulling his opponent apart from the inside.
Yeah, I mean, BattleB doesn't even have his third base up and running because there's a borrowed, I think there's a borrowed link there. So BattleB is all in with his army. He's rushing across the map with everything he has.
What?
Lurkers are already here. We have 5 tanks, but what are they in the face of lurkers? GG gets called.
Oh my goodness, Serral's just absurdly good at this game. That was very cool. I'm glad that he decided today he wanted to put a show on.
Yeah, GG, well played. A Serral that we don't get to see too often. Hyper aggression here in both games in different ways, to be fair. We saw him rush into lurker tech in game 1 and just be oppressive with said lurkers. And of course, amazing control. Here in game 2, flaunting his borrowed roach skill. Oh.
This was the Venus flytrap, and then the Venus flytrap was throwing the fly up in the air and catching it, and then throwing it up in the air again and catching it. He's juggling. Never seen a Venus flytrap do that before.
Just like a clown. Let's go. That's one of my favorite Yaku quotes. He never meant it to be insulting. I think we were casting Beastork at the time, and he was juggling his immortals. I think it was in a PvP so insanely well. He was cracked, and he's like, his juggling is crazy, Papi. He's a clown. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh no! Yeah, there we go. Kira's immediately posted it.
I don't like this.
Amazing.
Don't like this. But really impressive performance there by Serral. He does take the 2-0. Again, to be expected. He is an S tier player for a reason. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in the world. But now we move on to our second matchup.
Yeah, that was a great game, and now we're going to be switching gears a little bit. We're going into a PvP. It's going to be Spatz against Trigger, and Trigger, definitely a Protoss near and dear to our hearts here. Big fan of Trigger.
Oh yeah, exactly. Big fan of Trigger. He's been an up-and-comer for a while here, but despite that, this is the PvP, and Spatz is also a bit of a rising star as well. He is the ace player of Berserker eSports for a reason, and he can be really unpredictable at times as well. He has a really unique style of PvP. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you've casted much of Spatz recently, but in WTL, he is more than willing to just go for these crazy ninja bases and proxies as well. But spawning in the top left-hand corner, Berserker eSports, Spatz.
And the bottom right-hand corner, the Canadian Max Packs. This is Trigger.
Oh, the cams are out.
Oh, nice. And Spatz is doing the Zerg player thing. He's in the dark.
He is inside dark as we do rotate the cameras over. There you go. Yeah. He's rocking that green screen, just in the abyss.
Meanwhile, Trigger, I don't know if I'm just seeing it wrong. I do have my quality pretty low, but it kind of looks like he's got like earmuff headphones.
Oh yeah.
And he's cold in Canada.
Because of the color, it looks fluffy. You know,
Little fluffy earmuffs. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not, but it does look that way.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh.
As it is going to be a 2-gate opener coming out from both players, so I can't use my new knowledge. I went and watched the Goblin 1-gate video finally, and it's very good.
Nice. There you go. I'm sure we'll be able to make use of that at some point in this series. I was gonna say that's a market, right? Like, if you're in a more tropical kind of environment, to sell headsets, but like ear headsets, right?
I think so, but it would bring a new meaning to sweaty gaming.
But you're not gonna be sweating because it's cold. Like it's to counteract that, right?
Maybe.
You're not going to be wearing it in the summer.
I know, but I'm not so sure still.
Okay.
We'll have to test it.
Fair enough.
I'm not ready to... is it Shark Tank? Is that the show where you like tell them about your invention and they decide whether they're going to invest in you?
Oh, sure.
That's Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's some show where like people have inventions and they go in front of a panel of like millionaire investors that are like
you're on the panel.
Hosts.
Yeah, you're on air.
Yeah, and then they're like, I've come up with this invention that's a wheelchair that can go off road and do backflips, and 4 of them will be like, oh, I don't know about that, and 1 of them will be like, I really believe in this idea. I want to give you an offer for 20% of your business.
There you go. Would you invest in the earmuff headset?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I need to see more.
You need to see more. Okay.
I want you to come back next week, Let.
Okay. I'll have some specs for you. I'll have a prototype ready, and you can put it on your head.
Get my ears on it. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. Cover them up.
As you did say it, Spatz goes for some crazy wild plays, and this is definitely qualifies 4 adepts into a proxy DT shrine.
There we go. The Dark Shrine has been proxy. The adepts are looking to keep Trigger busy back at home. We've seen this before in WTL. Spatz, I remember he went for weird proxies against Hero in his own PvP, and to be fair, you have to when you're up against one of the world-class players like that. Trigger's going to be going for a Lieutenant Scout. He should be coming across the Twilight Council. He should recognize that it's not researching either. And that may be a tell.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he's suspicious about this. I mean, he still is going for Blink. I don't believe he has a Robo, so he's actually got no access to detection. I kind of don't feel like I want to call this greedy because it's not really that normal to have detection so early. I guess he is cutting a corner, but then I just feel like PvP, you have to cut corners sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like going for a Robo early on for no reason, like typically is not advised. And here we go. Trigger does start up that Robo. Do have a force field as well on the ramp. Going to be slowing down Spatz, and Spatz forced to waste some adepts here. The DTs haven't gone in yet.
Yeah, that's a very precise force field, trapping some units on both sides there. But I do worry. He's going to need those force fields once these DTs do hit. The DT's still a little ways off, but if he does have a force field that he can block that ramp up and he can mineral walk those probes through, that would be fantastic. But okay, he's going to be committing to the shade here. Maybe a little bit overeager.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, he targeted down every sentry. He killed every sentry with that shade. That was the goal there. Now, I don't know if there are any force fields unless there's a sentry on the high ground, and there isn't, but we do have a warp in.
Yeah, nice warp in. So that's good emergency. Oh no, he moved. He moved.
Ah! Did move out
Oh.
of position. The DTs are split off, one in the natural, one in the main base. There is a robo. There is an observer on the way, but damage is still being done.
Yeah, but actually not that much damage. I mean, we have 7 probes going down, but considering how late Spatz's expansion was, I think that's fine.
Yeah, this could have been worse. This could have been game ending. Thankfully, Trigger did throw down a safety robo in the end and was able to get some detection out. But Spatz now has a worker advantage. He's behind in Blink, but his Blink is more than halfway done. He just needs a little bit more time.
That was so scary. I thought he was dead, but he was fine.
Yeah.
He just opened the door. He's like, come right on in.
Yeah, you know, Trigger, he's very hospitable. He's a very hospitable host. There you go.
He's like, here, I've got some earmuffs for you.
Yeah, he's like the anti-Serral.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. So he's...
Yeah.
If he took Dark's place in the dungeon, people would be like, are we trapped here in this dungeon with you, Trigger? And he'd be like, no, you can leave. It's fine.
I'm trapped in here with you. Meanwhile,
Like,
Serral,
I appreciate your company, but you don't have to stay.
yeah. The doors are unlocked. It's all good, Papi. It's all good. Relax.
The harness is just more like a sash.
Yeah.
For sure.
Whereas for Serral, they walk in, and the door locks behind them, and they're like, "Oh, is there a safe word?" And Serral says nothing. Oh no.
Interesting. Oh boy.
Like
We are having thirds coming down for both players. Trigger seems to be pretty far ahead in almost every regard here, apart from the Immortals. I love that he's getting this extra damage with the Blinkstalkers as well, just trying to pick off some little bits and pieces before Spatz can get across the map, realizing that Spatz does have to do some damage here.
Yeah, he really does. And to be fair, he does have that immortal advantage. And with that, he can overpower the army of Trigger. He's going to be forcing him all the way back. But Trigger, with the high ground, with the defensive advantage, shield batteries are finishing up. He should be able to hold on to his third if he does fight with it within range, though.
Yeah, he does have to drop back to shield batteries. He has 2, so that's fantastic. That should help him quite a lot with this defense. We do have a Prism here for Spatz, so it looks like Spatz is going to try to put himself on a pretty all-in position, despite being only on a 2-base economy here. So Trigger, the name of the game here is just slowing him down to surviving, and he'll be way ahead.
Yeah, but here we go. The force fields are thrown down to cut up the army. The Immortal is focused down. Despite the fact that we had an overcharge, Spatz was able to focus it down in the end. And with that, he can still overpower. The overcharge is soon to run out.
He can, but this is some fantastic micro from Trigger, getting a really great concave on top of the ramp, and the blink micro is just perfect as well. So he's doing a great job defending this, and Spatz going to make the mature decision and back off just for the moment.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to rotate over towards the natural base instead. Maybe have a bit of a better angle. Doesn't have to worry about the high ground vision either. But the Prism, it goes down.
That is huge. Now we have no more reinforcement potential, so that defender's advantage will be a factor now for Trigger. And he does have charge finished as well now, so those Immortals that Spatz had, they become much less of a factor once charge is finished here.
Yeah, that will nullify the power of these Immortals. It looks like Spatz has recognized that. He's backing off. He's rebuilding his Prism. He's working on charge himself. He is relinquishing map control.
He is, and actually behind this, he's managed to get a higher work account. So we're going to have a bit of a role reversal where it's Trigger now that needs to get himself a little bit of damage.
Oh, as you say that, though, we have a bit of a zealot run by going straight into the mineral line as well, trying to focus on as many probes as possible. We see Spatz responding very quickly with mineral walking, but he still will lose some workers.
Yeah, that's some great focus fire coming out from Trigger there on those units. And Spatz going to go... Oh, I love this. The Redux, the DT Shrine again. This is very crafty.
I love it. I love it as well. You know, what are the chances that the Dark Shrine will be rebuilt? But before that happens, Trigger is moving on out. He does have charge. Spatz still needs a little bit more time, and those Immortals are exposed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, very aggressive blink jump straight on top of the Immortal. The Immortals of Trigger are lacking. He only has, okay, it is the second one has arrived. Looks like the third one might be on the way in the Prism. No, I'm not quite sure where his third Immortal is. Maybe it got picked off at some point, but Trigger's army definitely looking rather scary now. Hopefully we've got more Zealots coming in.
Mate, those were some hot pickups, by the way. I mean, I don't know if the Immortals will survive this time. As we do blink on forward, we're going to be focusing down the Prism once again.
Yeah, Prism going to be going down. Both Immortals go down. That takes out so much of the firepower of Spatz, and there's still 2 Immortals for Trigger. He's wasting some of his shots on the Nexus, but I don't think it's really going to matter. He has an overwhelming force here. Wait, as I say that, there's some Zealots getting on top of the Immortals.
There are some Zealots, but the shield battery only just now finished. There weren't any shield batteries or overcharge ready for this fight, and that is going to kill Spatz as Trigger has broken through the third base, has broken through the main army.
Yeah, and there we go. The base even going to be going down. GG is called by Spatz, and Trigger taking game 1.
GG, well played. But that was a relatively chaotic game 1, though. You know, it wasn't completely one-sided. Spatz, he was going at it with all he had. The DTs not quite doing enough, though. Trigger, thankfully, was playing it safe. He did have a robo behind it. He had detection, and the DTs only killed 7 probes, if I'm not mistaken. 7 probes.
Yeah, I was really surprised at how little damage ended up getting done, despite it looking like a terrifying situation. I mean, I don't think Trigger had any idea what was coming.
Yeah. Had no idea what was going on, but alas was able to defend regardless. Great target find, great blink control as well from Trigger as he does take that first game. Ooh, and now Spatz, he has to back off, and we'll see what his map of choice is going to be.
Yes, it's a really important game. Spatz has a chance here to keep Berserker eSports in it. Basilisk are up 3-0, so if they win the next one, they are gonna win this match.
Yeah, exactly. The pressure is on Spatz. One more loss, and that is it. Team Basilisk will take the series. Otherwise, Spatz will be forcing more games to, you know, be relevant and take part here in this series. And I do believe in him. I do believe in his abilities here, as his map of choice is going to be Babylon.
Yeah, okay, so a bit of a smaller map. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea whether maps even matter in PvP, apart from whether there's a ramp at the natural. I do feel like with PvP, because you can warp in, any map's a proxy map, the distance doesn't really matter that much.
You're not wrong. Very true, very true. Oh boy, I guess that's another thing to add on to this as well, is that there is a ramp here on Babylon, which means that a gate expand is more likely, and I wonder if Spatz has a plan for that. I wonder if he plans on maybe trying to be a little bit more aggressive here and try to punish a greedy player, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, Trigger, he's an expert in the gate expand. We call him the Canadian Max Packs for a reason. He's a bit of a specialist when it comes to this kind of build order and when it comes to defensive play as well. So I definitely expect to see it out of him. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe even just I don't know. I mean, a 4-gate blink is pretty...
Before we do get into something like ESL Masters EU, how many hours away is that, by the way? Is that
like 3.5, I think.
Oh my, okay.
Imagine being up that late. Right.
True. Oh, have you been staying up and watching ESL Masters?
Yes.
Oh,
I watched all of Spirit Reynor yesterday, and I watched a little bit of Skilless Max Packs. I didn't watch too much of it, but I mean, I was cheering for Skilless.
Okay. Well, I feel like I have to tune in now. I just realized Serral versus Clem is later on tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up first. But before that, bottom right-hand corner here for Berserker, it's Spatz.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Canadian Protoss player for Team Basilisk, Trigger.
Okay, gonna be gate expands from both players. There you go.
Oh, here we go. No 2-gate openers from anyone. None of that shenanigans as far as we can tell. But we'll keep our eyes on the production tab. We'll keep our eyes on the players as once again, we just flip the players over. Now they're on the other side.
Oh. Yeah, they've changed their colors.
Yeah.
So annoying.
I was very confused initially, but we're okay. Oh, beautiful.
All right, so
Mhm.
what happens, Light, is when you get blocked by your natural and you
Okay.
can't throw down the Nexus,
Okay.
you make a gas and a pylon in the main.
Okay.
And then, oh, well, they didn't get blocked, so there you go. Neither of them blocked each other. That's kinda crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. They both sky each other. No one blocks anything. We have a gentleman's agreement here. We are going to expand. No one is going to be rushing into their tech any faster, into a faster Stargate or anything like that. Nah, not here.
I feel like I never see this.
Yeah, I never see that. It's true.
Usually the blocking, and there's a zealot, and there's the pylons, and sometimes there's a cyber core.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Earlier today, I was casting Mindle VK versus Demi, and you know how we force the unnatural natural, right? It's normal. Mindle VK, he doubled down. He ended up throwing down 3 pylons at the natural of Demi, and he was obviously he was rotating cancels, and he bought enough time for 2 adepts to show up, which meant that the 4 lings of Demi couldn't clean up the pylon, and was forced to take the unnatural third as well. Yeah, so Demi had to take his natural as like the linear third, and then his third base as the triangular third, and then his 4th base had to be his natural.
The natural, yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Is that even worth it? 3 pylons.
I don't know. Well, I mean, he canceled them, like, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's so odd. That just doesn't sound right.
It doesn't.
I had to see it. Yeah.
It was crazy though. It was crazy. Oh my god. You're just giving me some flashbacks there, but
yeah, right. That's cool. Well, nothing too crazy going on here in comparison. We've got both players just setting up their shield batteries in case there's oracles coming in, but we haven't been seeing Spatz proxy a gateway nice and close. So it's like he's the one that wants to be aggressive. Slips in with an adept. That's huge.
One adept does slip in. Unfortunately, the block was a little bit too late, and with this adept, we're going to be taking note that a pylon is missing. A pylon is not here, and I wonder where it is. Not just that. Oh, that adept is actually going to get some probe kills.
Yeah, 1 probe going to be going down here. Looks like we got a little bit of a citizen's arrest, but it's not enough. There's not a battery down here at the natural, so several of these probes going to be going down.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite worth it, as we do see 3 probes falling, but you know what? We have Spatz across the map. He's warping in with everything he's got. It's going to be 3 gates in total. Does have a far greater production capability compared to Trigger, but he's going to be pushing up a ramp.
Ooh, very nice force fields to start off with. Looks like, actually, maybe not the best force fields. The Zealots will be getting on top of this unit, and everything is kept safe with that shield battery. Trigger could be throwing down an extra shield battery just to be sure, but this is a situation that Trigger excels in. It is getting a little bit scary with this extra warp here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you were talking about it before, but the natural here, the ramp is so narrow. It takes 2 force fields. We have the overcharge, and that's what a 3rd and 4th Stalker going down.
Yeah, this is just a brilliant defense so far, and Trigger even across the map, taking down that pylon. That is so annoying here for Spatz. And I mean, if Spatz hadn't lost so many stalkers, he'd be supply blocked here as well. So Trigger's doing a great job, but it looks like, he's going to commit to this shade here, and he can take out some of the sentries. Yeah,
the sentries are being focused on one after another. To be fair, they don't really have any NG for force fields anyway, but we have a 2nd and a 3rd shield battery behind this, and Trigger, he defends beautifully.
Yeah, Trigger very calm and patient with that defense, just adding the batteries as he needs them, not overcommitting too early at any point, doing everything very properly, and he's still finding himself in a very comfortable spot. Wow, okay, Trigger going to be going for the DT Shrine. I love this. This is so clever. Really cool way to get counter damage, and I think it's going to be the last thing on Spatz's mind.
Exactly. Spatz is focusing on his aggression. He has to try to catch back up in this game. He's going for a faster 3rd base, which will help out definitely, but he is lacking detection. He's lacking a robo, and that means that Trigger, he's going to be looking terrifying here when he does come out with his DTs.
Yeah, they might just straight up win the game. I mean, this is really nicely identified. I suppose he realizes that Spatz is going to have to cut some kind of corner somewhere to stay in this one, and this is a really clever way to punish that.
It really is. The prism for Trigger is already out. It's going to be zooming across the map, just hugging the edge of the left-hand wall. The Dark Shrine should finish up by the time the prism gets across the map, and we'll see if Spatz throws down a robo anytime soon, because if he doesn't, it's going to be a lot of trouble.
Spatz is committing to a push here, so we are going to be having a bit of a semi-base trade as those DTs do get warped in. I'm not really sure if Trigger has enough to deal with this. Oh, he has plenty to deal with this. He's got an Immortal. Man, Trigger is in such a good spot.
Yeah, that Immortal is huge, and with that, Spatz cannot break the third base. We have shield batteries, we have overcharge. Meanwhile, the DTs have arrived. Spatz just now starts the robo, but it just started.
Oh. Yeah, that is brutal. This is so much worse a position, and yeah, okay, GG just gets caught straight up. Absolutely fair enough. Trigger takes it to BASILISK. Win the series.
GG, well played. Team BASILISK looking powerful here in this series, and that won't stop us from casting Reynor versus PAPI. Of course, we will still jump into that, but Team BASILISK are just looking more powerful than ever. Spatz had a chance in game one. I think game one was a little bit more chaotic and a little bit more back and forth, but here in game two, you know, Trigger was feeling so comfortable defending on Babylon. Like, it was like his map to defend.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Reynor's been a bit, I don't know. I don't want to say shaky. We've seen him lose some games in World Team League that I wouldn't really expect him to lose, but at the same time, we do know that some of these players sometimes leading up to DreamHack will be hiding a lot of their strategies. So that could be playing into it, that World Team League maybe was not as high a priority for him as DreamHack has been.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, from the games that we've seen Reynor lose, I do think a lot of it does come down to overconfidence.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's necessarily a strategy thing. It's just more of like a mentality thing instead. And we'll see if Reynor's been humbled, because you're not wrong. His WTL performance has been very shaky, very shaky. I mean, he almost lost to Firefly. Firefly should have won, actually. In Starving Camels versus Team BASILISK last week, I feel like Firefly threw the game a little bit and did allow Reynor to come back and win in the end. But yeah, we'll see if PAPI is up to the task, because these are two players that are very endemic to the same region.
Yeah, and on top of that, we're going to be starting things off on Neo Humanity, which in this matchup, I feel like is a bit of a specialist map for Reynor.
100%. Reynor, I'm sure if he wasn't already landing on this map, he would pick this map as well, just to be in the face of his opponent, just to be aggressive. And here we go, loading in the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity for Berserker eSports. It is PAPI.
PAPI, the PAPI caster. As in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for BASILISK, we have Reynor.
Here we go, and just like Serral versus BattleB, no cams here in game number 3. Maybe Serral smudging a little bit too much after after the other day. It's possible. It's possible.
Oh yeah, they both don't have cameras this time. Man, they gotta get the cameras. It actually makes such a difference.
It makes it so much more fun, you know. Like, half of my WTL casting is just analyzing what's behind the players in their cams.
Just like snooping at what's in their house.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the cams, we wouldn't know about Dark Tarnus.
Yeah, and we wouldn't know about who is it that had, I feel like a lot of them have a kitchen in the background, but someone was it? No, it's not Diego, although Diego does as well. Was it not Cure?
Kitchen in the
Who
background.
was it?
European. There's a European player with a kitchen.
Yeah. I'm never gonna get it, so let's move on. But yeah, it's funny seeing people's kitchens. I would be stressed out about it because, you know, I don't always do my dishes straight away. But
well, I would though. I like
yeah,
if you're playing. Yeah, that's a good thing, right? But like forcing them to clean up their rooms.
I wouldn't clean my room. I'd just do the dishes.
Okay. Yeah. We wouldn't know about Creator's Elliptical. You know, his.
Oh yeah, and
his
the
Roomba?
Roomba, the Beyblade Roomba.
Yeah. See. There you go. Shout out to all the sponsors, by the way. Shout out to Doyu, Hypergriff, TGI Fridays, Tidal, and of course Rio de Janeiro as well. Without them, WTL wouldn't be a thing. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. PAPI is going to be going for a proxy. I really don't see proxies that much in PvZ. Same as TvZ, actually, where it is a pretty big risk to take just because it makes any kind of defense from early roach pushes or proxy hatches or anything like that basically impossible. And I feel like the reward for it is also just not that big. But I like that PAPI's doing something aggressive and bringing it to him.
Mate, my brain is just going off right now because
Yeah, cool.
the first time you said
Why I didn't
Papi,
stop talking.
yeah, I was like, oh, I thought you were talking to me. I thought you were like, like singling me out in what you were saying. I was like, oh no, it's okay. It's the other person. Okay, never mind.
You're like, I would never proxy a Stargate. How dare you?
Shaking.
I'm not your Papi.
Oh god, as yeah, for the time being, this is unscattered here from Papi. He's gonna be able to chrono out that first Oracle and try to catch Reynor a little bit off guard. Meanwhile, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but Reynor's third base is gonna be the forward third base, and with that, he's gonna be able to launch that creep across the map.
Yeah, Papi's gonna get eyes on that, and I hope he's not going for anything too aggressive because this does signify to me as well that Reynor's intending to play into pretty fast roaches.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on things if he does throw down that Roach Warren. If he just goes for, like, I don't know, like a Ling Queen all-in instead. The Oracle does dive into the main base. Does get one drone kill, but only one as the Queens are in position.
Yeah, Reynor's been either greedy here or just had no idea that it was a Stargate because he has only just thrown down his first spore here. There's going to be no spore at the natural either. And there is a Twilight behind this. I really like this. So I do agree with this concept, basically, that if you are going to proxy such an important tech building against Zerg, you do want to try to end the game on two bases.
Yeah, and speaking of, there we go, Glaves is on the way behind this. The other interesting thing is that from this proxy Stargate, we only made a single Oracle. We're completely, just immediately switching out of Oracle production into that ground toss instead. And we'll keep an eye on how many gateways we get. For the time being, I believe we only have 4 gates, but I think a couple more are going to be thrown down.
Yeah, okay. Now, Reynor preemptively going to be at least getting these rocks into the red. I'm not sure if he's going to fully take them down. And behind this, he's getting his Roach Warren at a pretty good time. So I feel like he's going to be very prepared for this late Glaves. It's just going to be a matter of whether he can see it coming early enough to make the units.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if he does recognize that or if he does drone up a little bit too hard. As that third base is on the way, it's getting up and running. We do have a proxy gateway over on the right hand side of the map as well, so we can reinforce, we can bypass kind of that central location, but we'll see if Papi can pull this off because Reynor is making defensive roaches.
Yeah, I do really like how he's set up on both sides of the map here, Papi, as I wouldn't mind seeing him maybe throw down a gateway with that Stargate as well, just to get those fast warp ins. I guess it's not going to matter too much. We have a robo coming down at home as well. It kind of feels like he actually just wants to macro out of this. This is such a interesting way to go about this.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off as, the first 4 adepts do commit to the shade, but they've run into a wall of roaches and they are going to be going down immediately. So with that already, a couple of adepts are thrown away, and this is dangerous because this will signal Reynor.
Oh my god, that was so close. Do you reckon he knew that that wasn't going to go off? I think he did. No, I believe. Reynor's so fast. He would have seen it.
Okay. I believe. As a couple more adepts being caught out on the left-hand side as well. Reynor, he's setting up 3 drop lords. He's going to be sending his queens across the map, his lings, his roaches as well. He knows that right now, Papi is vulnerable as he just lost his army.
Yeah, great killer instinct by Reynor. Going to be going straight across. And going straight across does not take long on a map like this. Some decent force fields going to be coming out from Papi, just making it a little bit difficult for the roaches to join the party, but I mean, the roaches, they're not even going to wait for the queens. They're going to win the game before those queens can even get here.
Yeah, the queens, they don't even need to be a part of the fight, but they do join in anyway. The overcharge goes down. GG gets called, and Reynor takes game number 1.
Brutal. GG. Reynor taking game 1, and Basilisk now poised for a clean sweep of this series.
Oh, exactly. They are looking to pull this off. PAPI, unfortunately, had a... I mean, I really appreciate that he had a quirky build in game number 1. The execution may be lacking a little bit. We saw those adepts were thrown away, and it was unfortunate that Reynor was so prepared for that as well. Like, he was potentially already setting up for his own Ling Roach attack and just happened to have them in time as well to deal with those adepts.
Yeah, so, that's tough. Really just brutal timing. Kind of makes me keep thinking. Well, it confirms my little bias there that Reynor is just the expert of neo-humanity.
He really is. Give him a reason to, and he will just run at you as quickly as possible with his army, with his crisp timing as well. But now we have our second game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner for Berserker eSports, it is PAPI.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for Basilisk, this is Reynor.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice here for PAPI because a map like Gresvan, yeah, I do feel like it is also sometimes a little bit prone to all-ins as well, to these heavy roach timings that I'm sure Reynor would be more than willing to go for.
Reynor's going to play like Damaga.
Exactly, yes. You know what? He actually even goes for a pull first. Let's go. Oh, he's going for the Foxy Hatch!
Yeah, okay. This is something I've been seeing Dark do a lot on this map, just on the left side, away from this wall. And it looks like, yeah, I mean, PAPI's already sending out a scout, so he's going to have no idea this is here, at least until it's almost finished.
Mate, this past week, Dark has been an actual animal. He's going to be going for the proxy hatchery, but just to delay the base itself, he isn't setting up for any kind of spine rush or anything. So this is a more economic variation coming out from Reynor.
Is it?
Yeah, he's not going to let it finish. That'd be crazy. We'll see. Like, I think
I don't know. This is very strange. I mean, he still doesn't have a hatchery. Looks like he's going down to take that now. But he might even... I mean, okay, no, he's not faking it. He does have 300 minerals.
Yeah. Oh no! Okay, there we go. The hatchery is thrown down. So Dark has been doing this as well. That's why Dark has been so tricky in ZVP recently. He's willing to either commit to a proper proxy hatchery and spine rush as well, or do this variation, which just delays the base and it's just a way to disrupt the openers of the Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be that spine rush where the hatch is kind of tucked away to the left, just out of vision. And basically the Protoss sees it when the creep just shows up outside their base, and they're like, that's a little bit early for that. But, he remakes the hatchery here, and he is going to be running it with the Lings. There is no wall to speak of, and now he can just make it really difficult for PAPI to use that Zealot with the rest of his army. Stalker's going to be coming out, so he's going to go after these probes, and this is just so much disruption. This is something that I love it when a player that is favored in a series goes for something like this, where they just make the game state weird from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly. And Reynor, he's just having some fun here. The Zealot goes down. The Stalker is looking a little bit exposed, and that hatchery is getting quite a bit of progression here. He's containing PAPI to one base and forces him to throw down a Robo as well in his main.
Yeah, this is gross. He's actually kind of forcing him into an all-in position. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Reynor's going to deal with that, because he has to know that this is something that he's forcing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he has to start preparing back at home. I imagine momentarily we're going to be seeing a Roach Warren thrown down. We'll see what the gas is going to be spent on. Because of this opener, the gases were delayed from Reynor as well. So he has some catching up to do, as we'll see if he does cancel. He should be canceling momentarily across the map.
Yeah, there we go. He does cancel that, and... Oh, he's just being so annoying.
Oh my god.
He dodges the shot. Oh, he's dodging the shots. That is nuts. How does he know, like, how much every shot's gonna do?
I mean, the shots are staggered now, and despite that, he does it again. He keeps the drone alive.
You're an animal. You're actually an animal. That's just mean. That's actually just mean. What am I seeing?
The disrespect, PAPI, as he kind of wastes a lot of resources there going for the constant gas guys, but you know what? He was keeping PAPI busy as Reynor expands across the map, takes his own third base. Ugh,
He actually dodged so many stalker shots there. I
yeah.
didn't even know you could do that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just that's style points right there.
Oh my god. Behind this, with that robo opener, I was curious if we were going to get immortal production, but no, we have a prism on the way. We have 2 more gates as well. We have a sentry. Interesting. We could be getting ready for a bit of a soul train push. I'm curious to see if we do end up making an immortal behind this, or we just push out with gateway units.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was just going to make a prism and send whatever he had across the map, but it looks like he is going to do that to some extent. Reynor looks very well prepared. Oh, and this Ling run by. If he doesn't see the Ling run by, wow, how does he know?
Oh my god, he avoids the army. Then the immortal! No!
Oh, clutch recall. Perfectly timed. Really fantastic reactions there from PAPI.
Oh god, does get the recall in the end. Does save the immortal, but it does take some hull damage already, and this forces PAPI to turn around, and every second that passes is a good thing for Reynor.
Yeah, the Prism has to come back home to save the Immortal and pull that back. And Reynor is buying himself the most absurd amount of time. Reynor is just styling in this game.
It really is. Back at home, Roach Warren is halfway done. We have more Lings on lane, more Queens as well. The Lings of Reynor come back in. They're chipping away at that wall. They're focusing down the Cybercore. And if the Cybercore goes down, we cannot warp into depths or Stalkers.
Oh, the Cybercore is going to go down.
Oh my god, we can only reinforce with slow lots across the map. The Lings have arrived, the Queens are here as well. Reynor has to be careful, he has to respect these Zealots, as they do still have quite a lot of DPS available. We even have Spore Crawlers joining the fray. Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, so the Queen's going to be pushing this back. Beautiful micro coming out from Reynor. Is going to be keeping these Queens alive, getting so much damage out of them as well. I think no Queens have fallen so far. This is just insane. What a game from Reynor. Absolutely styling, flawless there in the victory, and that'll be a 6-0.
GG, well played. The 6-0 is real. Team Basilisk cementing themselves as one of the best teams in the entirety of a World Team League. They don't drop a single map.
Yeah, that's some nice stuff. That was really impressive. And Basilisk, they are wanting to put performances on like that. They want Onside to see them do things like that.
They know that Crank is casting, and yeah, with that, congratulations to Team Basilisk for taking the series. Shout out to Berserker though, because they did put up quite a fight. There were moments there for Spatz, for example, against Trigger. PAPI had maybe a bit of a harder time, but even in game one though, you know, he was trying to be a little bit cheeky, trying to get away with that proxy,